we'll be counting stars. Oh, but I'm not that old. I'm young, but I'm not that bold. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told. And I feel something so right, doing the wrong thing. And everything that heals me makes me feel alive. We'll be counting stars. I feel the love and I feel it burn down the river every turn. Hope is all for letter word. Make that money, watch it burn. No, but I'm not that old. I'm young, but I'm not that bold. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told. And I feel something so wrong, doing the right thing. Makes me wanna fly. Oh yeah, it makes me wanna fly. I will make that money, watch it burn. Sing in a river the lessons I learned. We'll make that money, watch it burn. Sing in a river the lessons I learned. We'll make that money, watch it burn. Sing in a river the lessons I learned. We'll make that money, watch it burn. Sing in a river the lessons. I've been losing sleep. Hey, dreaming about the things that we could be. Well, baby, I've been praying hard. Say no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars. Ooh, you and me. Dreaming about the things that we could be.
You need a website. Why not do it yourself? With Wix, you can create your own professional website.
I sing it one last time for you, but then we really have to go. You've been the only thing that's right in all I've done, and I can barely look at you, but every single time I do, I know we'll make it anywhere away from here. Light up, as if you answer you have a choice, even if you cannot hear my voice. I'll be right beside you, dear.
Hey, good morning, gang. I'm sorry. I am running a tittle bit on the late side this morning. Microsoft, Microsoft. Since Windows 10, everything links. And of course, I've got all of my Microsoft linked together and all of my Google linked together, and so when somebody decides they want to push a security update, well, I had to reset my password this morning. Yeah, kind of screwed up when your own security protocols nip you in the bud. So, and I guess, you know, if you think about it, that pedals right on up there with today's topic in Open Pagan Church. Taking things personal. Well, you know, some people would take very personal the fact that they had to reset their password on their computer. I don't. Part of the industry. I don't take shit like that personal. Well, if I did, I'd be in the wrong business, wouldn't I? Yeah. Not bad. We're only 5 minutes behind schedule. So, hope everybody's doing well. We are in the Ostara moon. Ostara, of course, being the beginning of spring. I changed out my background, my desktop wallpaper on my computer, to resemble up-and-coming spring. And of course, horses are one of my main spirit animals, hence Pegasus and what have you. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Danae. Camille, Cindy, Clint. So, of course, horses, like I say, are one of my spirit animals. So, of course, I'm going to change my desktop in spring to horses and what have you. So our topic today, taking things personal. Now this one, boy, let me tell you, it kind of goes along with and spans off of last Sunday's topic of why me? And you know, humans, oh boy, humans so very often take things personal with things that have absolutely nothing to do with them. Like kids especially, and I say kids especially, but if you get right down to it, adults are a whole lot worse than kids, most especially when you're talking about social networking and such as that. I know that back in the day, and I say that like it was so long ago, but it really wasn't, when people actually congregated, when people actually came together and they partied and they had a good time before social media, yeah, and it never failed. If you think about it, when people come together, they're either at a party, at a meeting, or at some kind of gathering, any kind of get-together where there's 10, 15, 20, 30 plus people, you always, it doesn't matter where you are, but you will always see little groups of people gathering around. And when they first all come together, everybody's hugging, shaking hands. Hey, how are you? It's been a long time since I've seen you. Hope life is good, yada, yada. They usually gather everybody together for a minute just to kind of find out what's going on, right? Well, it doesn't take long, usually about 20 or 30 minutes or so of a gathering, before you see people breaking off in their little groups. Well, then you've always got these one or two people that are just kind of stuck off somewhere, you know. They're just, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be involved in getting in the groups. Well, that person that was stuck way off used to be me back in my early and late and teens and even early 20s. And I finally decided to hell with it. I'll make my own groups. So what I started doing was gathering people together that didn't belong. I didn't want the popular people. I didn't want I didn't want those that were more interested in being popular or more interested in standing out or anything of that nature. I always wanted the people that were the misfits, the ones that really didn't belong. And what I started doing was working with people that had the why me mentality. The people that took things personal. It didn't matter who was talking about what. I mean, today most of the conversation is surrounded around terrorists, radical jihadists and stuff like that. Well, back in the day, it was Iran, the Contra hearings, you know, all that shit. So, but still, you could have somebody, now this is no joke, I've actually seen this happen in Ren Fair when I was traveling the Texas Renaissance Circuit. You'd all be sitting around talking, and somebody would start talking about the things that were going on in the news at the time. And somebody in that circle would take it personal. And I'm like, wait a minute, this has absolutely nothing to do with you. What the hell? Well, they're talking about me, and they're talking about this, and they're talking about that. And, well, I just don't understand why people are talking about me. Why they always got to be talking about me? They're not. Are you an Iranian? Well, no. Are you a jihadist? No. Do you have anything to do with terrorism? No. Then why the hell you think they're talking about you? Chill out. Quit being so damn paranoid. And that's basically what it is. A lot of these people, especially adults today, these are typically people that were picked on when they were kids, or they were always the center of negative attention when they were at home. Their parents would always scream at them every time they tried to do anything, regardless of whether it was right or wrong. They got screamed at. And irregardless of whether or not a child worked their ass off to try to do good by their parents, they were still screamed at. So what this does is, irregardless of what you do, no matter how good it is, this forms a why me or a taking things too personal mentality as you get older. Been there, done that. There were times when I was growing up, not a damn thing I did was right. Not a damn thing I did was good enough. Well, in my late 20s and early 30s, I thought, sod that. And by the time I was in my 40s, yeah, give a shit. You don't think I'm doing a good enough job, you can bugger off. I stopped taking things personal. And by my computer not wanting to load this morning, because, you know, Microsoft wanted me to reset my password for my Microsoft logon. And all of my Windows 10 equipment is synced with my Microsoft account. And I do that on purpose. My monitor's crooked. Screws with my OCDs when my shit's crooked. Ah! Hey, Jimmy. Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, so see, I could take that personal as well. My monitor is crooked. Oh well, I'll fix it later. I could take that personal. I could also take personal the fact I had to reset my password this morning. I could really get paranoid and swear somebody hacked my account. They didn't. I tested it on my cell phone. Logged into my Microsoft account. And it said, please verify your new password. New password verified. Account unlocked. Okay. Nobody hacked my account. Microsoft just reset their security options. Okay. So you can kind of see where we're going to be going today in the discussion of taking things personal. Well, let's talk about some of the examples of taking things personal in today's age. We are in the digital social network age. Duh, like none of you knew that. You're watching streaming video, come on. So, I could be sitting here talking about people taking things personal. This is one example. And somebody out there is going to say, well, why are you talking about me? What did I do to make you think I take things personal? Why are you talking about, maybe I am talking about you. Yeah, you. Looking at the screen right now. You. Whatever your name is. Of course I'm talking about you. Whatever your name is. Whoever you are. Taking this personal. I guess. You, whoever you are, need to sit back. Take a deep breath. Chill out. I don't even know you. Well, I know some of the people watching live, but I don't know you. So why would I be talking about you? That's the first example. So if you're one of those types of people that really, truly take things personal, if you're one of those people that take things personal and everything you read in your groups or the groups that you attend are the things that come across your social network feed. I'm not even going to pick on Facebook or Twitter or what's the other one, Snapchat, any of those others. But if you read things that come across your feed, you're going to take things personal because that's what the kind of person you are. And then you're going to attack because you think this person's talking about you. And in all reality, it has jack squat to do with anything you're doing anything with. Absolutely nothing. They're probably not even talking about you. Taking things personal. Well, and what do you do about it? What are some more examples? Here's a big example from back in the day prior to social networking, and it still happens today. People do still actually congregate and get together and actually talk face to face. It's an amazing concept, that. But you walk into a group of people, and timing just so has it that the group starts to laugh the split second you walk in. What are you laughing at? What did I do? What am I wearing? What? Why am I so funny? Why are you laughing at me? Everybody's standing around going, we didn't even know you were there? Or, we're laughing at you now because you're a dumbass. You think everybody's laughing at you. Nobody cares. So all of a sudden, you're the outcast. All of a sudden, you don't fit anywhere. All of a sudden, you don't belong. Taking things personal will do that to you. It will. It will make you so paranoid that that you think the whole world is laughing at you. You think the whole world is out to get you. Now, reality, don't take this harshly, but the world could give a shit less about you. I mean, it's true. You are, I am, everyone on the internet, the millions of billions of people on the internet, by themselves, on this planet, you are a speck of sand on an entire planet. I don't mean to diminish anybody's self-worth. I don't mean to diminish anybody's self-esteem. Because every speck of sand is just as important as the other trillions of specks of sand that it takes to hold that beach together. Now, if we kind of breathe for a second, and we sit back, we think about what I just said. I've been reaming your ass for taking things personal because you're not that important. But you are. I am. You are. My wife is, my daughter is, my brothers and sisters that watch are. We are just as important as everyone else. A single speck of sand can have just as much impact as the other speck of sand, as the other. If you see where I'm going here, you'll notice there are trillions of specks of sand on this planet. Now, each speck of sand is in amongst trillions of other specks of sand, and they may be on a beach. Well, they may call that beach their country, okay? Or their gathering, or their community, like it says over here. And it says community supporting each other. Absolutely. Because I promise you, the speck of sand that's on the top of the beach, there are trillions more supporting it. But it's still, and the thing we need to remember, it's not just about you. It's not just about me. It's not just about the things that you think you want. It's about the overall picture. It's about the global picture. When we get into this mode of taking things personal, we close our mind. We close our mind, we put on our blinders, and we don't see anything outside of those blinders, because we get tunnel vision. And once you get tunnel vision, your sight is here, and that's all you see is that little bitty tiny speck of your reality. It may not even be true reality, but it's your reality. But let's go back to that little tiny speck. If I begin to stop taking things personal, and I want to see things, see the world as it is, it will very slowly begin to open up. Before long, our peripheral vision is back. Our ground vision and our sky vision is back. Before you know it, you're listening, you're seeing, you're experiencing the world around you. And as you become more accepted of the things that you don't understand, and let's go back to the group of people that were talking that you come in on, and they're all laughing, and the timing just happens to work out. When you walk up, they find something funny. Walk up, stay silent. Hey guys, how's it going? And shut up after that. Somebody in that circle will say, hey. And somebody else will probably come up with a quick synopsis of what was so funny when you walked up. Now you're included. Now you experience inclusion instead of exclusion. Because you released the taking things personal, because you kind of stepped away from why me, then you've been able to experience a little more understanding of that which is around you. And I've got people over in the live chat talking about, yeah, I need to work on this. I've got others saying, you know, it's really hard not to do that. Absolutely. Dude, man, when I was in my teens and early 20s, not only was I coming off of drugs and alcohol, which did not help the paranoia, but I also had major anger management issues. I had major self-esteem issues. And I had major issues with just simply accepting things for the way they were. But as I begin to realize, and as I begin to remember the power word stop, I worked on stopping the momentum of anger, anxieties. I worked on stopping the momentum of fear-mongering, taking things personal, why me, why not me, and the working on stopping, why don't I fit in? Why doesn't anybody like me? Well, the first thing I had to admit to myself is the world overall could care less. No one is ever going to like me until I start liking myself. And I'm not talking about to the point of arrogance, going, well, I'm all this and I'm all that. Because that's 110% the opposite direction of where you need to be going. You can be humble. You don't have to be all about me. Like yourself. Build on that self-esteem. Learn to be okay with self. And the biggest thing is, when you're reading these social network sites, especially things coming around on your feed, unless they call you out by name, or they tag you in a conversation, don't worry about it. I mean, I post things on Facebook, little rants all the time about effing Dallas drivers and dumbass people that want to drive in the left-hand lane, which is the fast lane, by the way, on a 3x3 highway, 3 one direction and 3 the other, which they call a 6-lane highway. But we've got 3 lanes on our side. We have an entrance and exit lane, we have a driving lane, and we have a fast lane. And the ignorant pisswads that like to drive 50 miles an hour in the fast lane and then when you try to go around them, they want to speed up. I'll always have an issue with that. It flips that anger trigger in me, but not as bad as it used to. And here's why. For the longest time, I took it personal. For the longest time, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? What the fuck I do to you? I don't even know who you are. I hung back and I watched. And these people are equal opportunity assholes. They like to stir crap. You're going to have these people wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you do, you're going to have assholes. It's just the way it is. And the more population grows, the more people you put in a little bitty space, the more assholes you have in that little bitty space. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with numbers. Right? So, I'm not going to tell you what I started doing to those types of people because it's not actually really legal. But, so if you're one of those assholes that drives like that, yeah, I'm talking about you. Move your ass over. I don't care if you take it personal. And here's what we're going to cover in the next section. We're going to take a quick break, a pause for the cause, as it were, play a little music. And then we're going to come back and talk about, what if they are talking about you? What if they really are meaning it personal? what if you actually really are the brunt of their conversation, and why would that be? Really? Why would that be? Let's take 5. Let's come back and let's talk about it. For now, enjoy some music.
You ready? All around and in my hometown, they try to drag me down. They say they want to bring me the guilty for the killing of deputy, for the life of the deputy. And I say,
Well, I mean, the boys sounded good. I think they could have chosen a little bit different song, but then I was around when that song first hit the market. I know how it's supposed to be sang. Well, hope everybody had a good break. Pause for the cause. Hope everybody's got their coffee ready. And you know, I was reading through some of the live posts, and every one of you are absolutely right. I saw in there where someone says, it's hard for me to let things go. I get it. Someone said, we're all misfits. Absolutely. Taking things personal with in-laws. Well, I have to admit, when it comes to in-laws, they probably mean it personally. Sorry, but they do. It just what in-laws do. I can tell you my in-laws would be perfectly fine seeing me strung up, hamlocks and skinned, but there you go. I don't care. And see, herein lies the point that we will cover, not in this section, but in the next section. In this section, we're going to cover, are they really talking about you? Do you have reason to take things personal? Have you become, or have you always been, or are you just naturally the type of person that pisses people off just by your very existence, attitude, and personality? Who can change that? You. Who controls that? You. And there are those occasions where you get hung up, like I said over here. Everyone in their own momentum. Are you caught up in your own momentum of being an asshole? Or are you caught up in your own momentum of being a victim? Or are you caught up in your own momentum of personalizing everything that goes on around you and making everything about you? Are you one of these types of people that are into competitive illnesses? Are you into one of these types of people that's into competitive chaos? Meaning, no matter how bad someone's life is, you have to make yours sound that much worse so that you can get sympathy. If you are, and you're one of those people, then you can take this next segment very personally, because I'm talking about you, or not. How do we change that, though? How do we walk the fine line of, I really don't care what you think about me. I need to live my own life. I need to do my own thing. And I could really give a shit less whether or not you like it. But how do we walk that fine line between being who we are and being completely, totally, socially unacceptable? And there is a fine line. You know, I joked around, and I still joke around on occasion, that I am rude, crude, and socially unacceptable, and I quite frankly like it that way. Well, if that was true, ladies and gentlemen, I would not have joined the Pagan ministry almost 20 years ago. I definitely would not have taken the oath as a shaman almost 20 years ago. And I definitely would not be spending my Sundays sitting here talking to a webcam and taking the time to do these pagan churches, UnitedPaganRadio.net, and Live with the Shaman on a Sunday. If I really didn't care, my ass would be sitting in there watching the races, going to the racetrack, such as that. So, I mean, you know, you find that line. Some people just, it's just there for them automatically. It just is. You know, there's nothing they have to do. It's in their personality. They just automatically become the type of person that everyone loves. But you know, the interesting part, speaking of me personally and other people out there that feel the same way I do, those types of people generally are conformants. They're the types of people that will conform to everything that everyone else tells them to do or tells them that they are. They are conformants to global society in that they have no personal thought processes. They're perfectly fine being the sheep. Well, I've never been one to simply be a follower. I have learned and do know through the years how to lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. But how do we do that? How do we become how do we get away from taking things personal and why me? How do we break that momentum? We first, like any other addiction, yes, it is an addiction because it's something that by the definition of addiction, it is something that you have become, that you do, that is destructive. It's something that you think you can't change. It is what you think you are. And you can change. The old adage of some people can't change. No. I say again, no. If you're not mentally ill, if you're not mentally unstable, you can change. You have to first admit there's a problem. It's like any other addiction, like I said. You have to realize where the problem is. And then you have to start making the momentum to change that. Just like anger management. Admit the problem. See the problem. Feel the problem. Change the problem. And if you missed any of that, rewind and replay. That's the wonderful thing about recording broadcast. You can rewind and pause and play and take notes. Do whatever you need to do later. But you can make that change when it comes to taking things personal. Because you know well enough, you know yourself well enough to realize when you're starting down that path. Because you're going to feel it, man. When you're sitting there reading these posts, you're going to know when you're taking these things personal. And the way you change your personality, your perception of your personality, the way you change your actions to other people, you know when you are purposefully doing things just to piss people off. It's like our guy driving in the left-hand lane that knows, number one, it's illegal. He knows, number two, he's slowing up traffic. He knows, number three, that when people bugger out and try to go around him and he speeds up, he could very easily cause or be the cause of a deadly accident. Because that type of person. If that person is you, or if the person is you that treats everybody else badly because you're an asshole, or because you enjoy being an asshole, you're not doing yourself any favors. If you are one of those people that are getting angry sitting here listening to this broadcast because you think I'm talking about you personally when we've never met, you might want to pull back. And you might want to take a mirror and set it up. And look at yourself in the mirror and go, do I really do these things? I mean, I've been known to set a mirror up and point at myself in the mirror and go, you really are an asshole. You don't need to be treating people this way. You don't need to do these things. And when I was going through anger management, I didn't have really a counselor. I mean, I had friends on the internet. Back in that time, most of them were on either the IRC or on Yahoo, and well, anybody that's ever chatted on Yahoo knows that's a Yahoo. But there were times that while I was chatting with someone, I would put a mirror up and I'd look at myself in the mirror and go, you really do that? You really do these things that aren't cool. So I started making the decision. Once I admitted there was an issue, once I admitted there was a problem, that I was the reason for other people reacting to me the way they are at that time, I came to the acceptance that I was the only one that could change it. That I was the only one that could make the changes in my personality and the way I treat people. So I started realizing, using the power word stop, I started looking at the way people were reacting to me. And I'm like, that wasn't cool. And I would tell that person, I'm working on this. You know, and if they were close enough to me, if they were a close enough friend or a loved one or what have you, I would tell them, look, I'm going through some self-evaluation. I'm going through some self-healing. I need for you to not be afraid to tell me when I'm being an asshole. And I told Cindy, one of the masters, actually one of the masters of our grove, way back, I said, I need you to tell me when I'm being too harsh on the students. Because with my dedicated students, oath to the grove, I tend to be a bit of a militaristic asshole. Because I want to judge my students and hold my students to the same honor that I hold myself. But I also do not want my students to come through with a taking things personal or why me attitude because they've had a beat down. And I notice with my daughter when I'm getting too disciplinary with her that I need to pull that back a little bit. My wife has learned the look over the years, and when I'm carrying something too far, I get the look. Whatever it is, I can't mimic the look of a woman when a guy's gone too far. There is no way to recreate that look. But I'm like, pull back. Because the last thing I want is for my daughter to grow up and be, why me, and always taking things personal. So this is kind of how you can change. If, you know, you're one of these people that is stuck in the why me, always taking things personal. Are you one of the ones that might be causing that? Now, let's think about this. If you're one of the ones, now listen to this very, very closely, because I'm switching gears, and I'm giving enough time from going, you are the one causing it, to you think you're the one causing it, when in all reality, you might just be being oversensitive or over paranoid. So, let's think about that. If you feel like you are the one causing it, and you're the one that does always take things personal and does always have the why me mentality, and you've looked at your actions, you're like, well, I'm really a nice person. I can't see anything I've done to cause these people to act this way. Maybe you are being oversensitive. Maybe you're wearing your heart on your sleeve, and trust me, if you wear your heart on your shoulder, the world will flick it off, because that's not where it belongs. Your heart and your feelings do not reside, do not live, do not need to be on your shoulder for the world to flick off. Your heart is here. Well, in reality, your heart is here. Your feelings are in your head. And you may well have been programmed that everything is your fault. You may well have been programmed that no matter how much you do, it's not good enough. No matter what you do, it's wrong. No matter how hard you try, it doesn't make any difference. Well, much the flip side, but yet the same side as the asshole, only you can change that. Only you can change that. Now, as we know, we are 26 minutes past the hour. I'm going to take a quick break again, let my voice rest for a minute, and let everybody get up, stretch, pause for the cause. I realize these things that are an hour and a half long are a little daunting at times, but we come back. Let's talk about some of the ways we can change being paranoid. Let's talk about some of the ways we can change taking things personal. Let's close it out. And then remember, once this is done, I will slide right into getting ready for my radio show over at UnitedPaganRadio.net. I hope to see you guys there. Let's take a quick break, listen to a little more guitar music and Cajun drums, and we will be back with you momentarily.
Beauty queen of only 18, she has some trouble with herself. He was always there to help her. She always belonged to someone else. I drove for miles and miles and wind up at your door. I've had you so many times, but somehow I want more. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with the broken smile and ask her if she wants to stay a while. And she will be loved. She will be loved. Tap on my window, knock on my door. I wanna make you feel beautiful. I know I tend to get so insecure. It doesn't matter anymore. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. It's compromise and moves us alone. My heart is full and my door's always open. You come anytime you want. Yeah, I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in a pouring rain. Look for the girl with the broken smile and ask her if she wants to stay a while. And she will be loved. She will be loved. She will be loved. And she will be loved. I know where you hide, all in your car. Know all of the things that make you who you are. And I know that goodbye means nothing at all. Comes back and begs me to catch her every time she falls. Bell my window, knock on my door. I wanna make you feel beautiful. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in a pouring rain. Look for a girl with the broken smile and ask her if she wants to stay a while. And she will be loved. She will be loved. And she will be loved. She will be loved. Yeah. Please don't try so hard to say goodbye.
Well, very apropos, I guess, that song would sing right here on the closing portion of this week's Open Pagan Church. Not real sure the young lady's voice control couldn't be a bit better, but you know, hey, the title of the song is kind of what drug me to it, and I'm really actually glad it played on the last segment, You Will Be Loved. You know, one of the biggest things I think people run into in reality is society is taught that unless you conform to exactly what society thinks you should conform to, unless you conform to exactly what society thinks how you should live, you are programmed that you're not shit. You're not worth anything. You're nothing. And that could not be furthest from the truth. And believe it or not, it really does enforce the why me. It really does enforce taking things personal. Because, like I said earlier, you were raised, you're not worth a damn. You were raised where it is your fault. So how do we recognize this? How do we get away from it? What do we do about these situations where we read these things and we see these things, or we walk into these groups of people and the groups of people are talking? Well, if they are indeed talking about you and you really haven't done anything, you're not a conformant. You're not the type of person that wants to follow the societal straight and narrow. And I'm not talking about somebody that goes out and robs grocery stores. I'm not talking about somebody that goes out and rapes women or pillages and steals everything. It just really ruins people's property. I'm talking about people that are into alternative sexualities, if you will. People that are coming into, are trying to admit or embrace their own pagan emotions. I'm talking about people that don't fit the norm, that don't fit what society says you should be. Don't allow yourself to be spun down into the spiral of you're not worth a damn mentality. Don't let yourself become a part of the why me mentality. And don't fall into the action and reaction of taking things personal. You know when you're starting to do this. And if you don't know it, if you don't, if you're one of these people that can't see it, because there are some times that I just really don't see when I'm being an asshole, because I'm just, get someone that you trust. Get someone that you will listen to, who watches your feed, your social feed, who hangs out with you and listens to you talk, who knows your facial reactions and knows your energy and the way you feel. And just tell them, look, if you see me sliding down this slope of taking things personal, if you see me getting wrapped up in why me, if you see me starting to become paranoid of everybody's out to get me or everybody's talking about me, say something. If you have to sit on me, say something. Don't make others responsible for your actions. Take responsibility for the things that you do. Take responsibility for your own actions and reactions. But have someone that you trust point it out to you and say, hey, look, they weren't even talking about you. You need to delete that post and apologize. No kidding. No kidding. I have reacted badly to some post in the past where either I didn't read the whole damn thing, which I'm guilty of, or I misread it. I've jumped on my wife for saying something in IM because either auto type sent it wrong, or I read it wrong, or I didn't read the whole thing. So I go back, hey, sorry, I read that wrong. My apologies. Now, most social networks will allow you to delete your prior post. If not, reply to your own post with an apology and send a private apology to the individual that you lashed out to, that you struck out at. So you can change your reaction to taking things personal. You can change your reaction to other people's actions when in all reality they may not affect you at all. They may not even be talking about you. You, and only you, can change your reaction to other people's actions. It says we misunderstand each other all the time. All learning opportunities. Yes and no. Yes, it's a learning opportunity. Yes, we misunderstand each other all the time, but we should stop before we post. Seriously. Stop before you hit send. When you're blowing up all over this keyboard, before you hit that enter key, stop. Grab that finger and don't let it hit enter. And go back and reread it. Take the 1 or 2 minutes to reread what you wrote. And then go back before you hit send and reread what the other person wrote. You just might find they weren't talking about you at all. You just might find that they were talking in general about society. So you would have gotten lit up all over the keyboard, taking it personal, and hit enter. And then there's a problem. There's a problem with you. There's a problem with your supposed Facebook or Twitter friend or whatever. Now, you've said it. It's out there. What is typed cannot be untyped. It can be deleted. But I promise you, once you hit send, enough people have already read it before you hit delete, the damage is already done. And that's like me at work. There are a number of times, as I've said before, my boss's office sits right behind me. Those walls are thin. There have been a number of times my boss has said, Maxwell, don't reply to that email. I'll get it. Dude, really? I mean, my boss knows me. And he knows somebody pisses me off, I will light up on that keyboard. But I've learned, and I am learning. Stop. Don't hit send. Reread it multiple times if you have to. because remember this. Once it is said, it cannot be unsaid. Once it is sent, it can be deleted, but it cannot be unsent. It's out there. It is out there. Once it's done, it cannot be undone. So you get these people that get all tanked up and pissed off and angry, and they start running off at the mouth, and they want to come back later and go, oh, you know, I didn't mean it, I was just angry. No, you said it. Think before you speak. Like it says, pause, stop. Stop before you sin. Stop before you speak. Stop before you hit enter. Because, ladies and gentlemen, once it's out there, you can't pull it back. Once it hits the internet, there is no completely deleting it. There isn't. I don't care what anybody tells you. The fact of the matter is, once something hits the internet, it cannot completely be eradicated. It is still out there somewhere. Take it for what it is. So, what now? Our topic today has been taking things personal. We've covered a lot. I hope that those of you watching the pre-recorded version of our broadcast go back and listen to some of the very wise statements made by the people that watch live. Put your own statements in there. One of us will go back and read them and we'll reply to you. If you have comments that you want to see other topics covered, or topics that you want to see something recovered or revisited, send it to me in a PM. Post it on the House of Pagans group site. Post it on Open Pagan Church site. Put your topic out there, and maybe a few notes on what you want to see happen. So, I always like to do a little wisdom, word to the wise, if you will, prior to closing. And I guess the only words to the wisdom that I have today is stop before you react. Stop before you hit send. Think about what you're going to say before you say it. Reread what you've written before you hit send, because you do not want to start a momentum of something in which you cannot stop. I want to thank everyone for watching once again, getting up early and being with us on a Sunday morning. Right now we're going to bugger off and get ready to appear on UnitedPaganRadio.net. Again, that's UnitedPaganRadio.net. Wonderful radio station. No, we're not sponsored by them. We don't get a dime from them, but I love the guys out there. They've got some wonderful hosts, some excellent topics. And we'll see you there at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time. And of course, we're in Texas, so that's Central Time. Again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I hope you enjoy your upcoming spring. Have a great day.